Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Gardener falls into pit, dies. Tears flowing down the cheeks of residents after the body of a well-loved gardener was removed from a cesspit into which he fell while on the job at a premises in the Coral Gardens community in Montego Bay on Monday. The residents gave the name of the gardener as Shane Lee, who lived in St. James. Residents allege that the gardener was walking across the premises when he fell into the pit after the covering gave way. Cesspool truck operators had to remove 4 loads of waste from the pit before firefighters managed to retrieve the body, which had cuts all over. One fireman was overheard explaining to a resident that he took in a lot of water. The gardener's weed whacker had also been removed from the pit by the firefighters. "Who going cut yard now?" a female resident wailed, her hands on her head. Lorna Lawson, another Coral Gardens resident who usually hired the gardener, said he has been serving the community for many years, over which time he had won the trust and respect of the residents. "He is a very nice person and he has worked here for many years. He works for me as well as several residents. Very sad, very depressed. Him cut me yard up to last week and we had a good chat. Very nice person," a distressed Lawson stated. Another resident, Gregory Excel, concurred. "Me know him good like that. He's a man who cut me yard. Good youth. Even if you don't have a money at the time for pay him deal with it. From Sunday to Sunday him in the place. Good youth," Excel stated. A cook food vendor, who gave her name as Allison, said she had sold lunch to Lee not only before his death. "Me just sell him the food. Him call me at about 10-12 a.m. and ask me to stop here. Me sell 3 food before me reach to him. It was the first me selling him a large lunch. Him usually buy small lunch," the vendor said. "He told me that tomorrow he will be around there. I told him to call me and remind me tomorrow. That's it," added Allison, who cried openly after the body was removed from the pit. 2 killed in Manchester crash. 2 men were killed in a crash on the Content Main Road near Williamsfield in South Central Park on Sunday. Police named the deceased as 25-year-old Adrian Knight and 35-year-old Bernard West, both of Cumberland District in Clarendon. A police report said about 9 p.m. the men were traveling on a motorcycle when it collided with a white Toyota Fielder motor car, which was heading in the opposite direction. The men were taken to hospital, where Knight was pronounced dead. West succumbed to his injuries on Monday. This follows last week Tuesday's crash on Spur Tree Hill to Gutters Main Road, which claimed the lives of 21-year-old Navardo Brown and 25-year-old Omar Hewitt. A Mark X motor car, which police said had overtaken a bus, hit Brown and Hewitt from their motorcycle. This is scary. The long-standing issue of broken guardrails on the Lacova Bridge here has worsened on Sunday following a crash which claimed the life of a 23-year-old man. Police named the deceased as DeMarco Devil, otherwise called Pi, of Burnt Ground District in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. Police reports are that about 1:30 a.m., Devil was traveling in a Toyota Axio motor car towards Santa Cruz when the driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed into the guardrail on the Lacova Bridge. Devil was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Counsel for the Santa Cruz Division, Christopher Williams, Jamaica Labour Party, and Community Relations Officer for the National Works Agency NWA Southern Region, Howard Hendricks, said on Monday he highlighted the need to repair the bridge. Williams said the situation is scary, especially for children and people who walk on the bridge which spans the Black River. "The bridge has been damaged for many years now. I am talking about the railing on either side of the bridge. We have been making complaints at the municipal corporation, and we have reported the issue to the National Works Agency. 3 weeks ago, a letter was sent off to E.G. Hunter, the head of NWA, hoping we can get the situation addressed," said Williams. "This is scary. We have children who, when they are coming from school, they basically are down that side. People walk along the bridge. The condition now has worsened, especially after the accident," he added. Meanwhile, Hendricks reported that the NWA is awaiting funding as an estimate was recently submitted for the repairs needed on the bridge. Williams further called on the ministry with responsibility for works, Everett Warmington, to intervene. "Please, I am asking for some assistance to get the railing and sidewalk fixed before we have another serious incident or more loss of life," he stated. I have been asking for 5 years now. We are desperate now, he added. Williams also implored motorists to be cautious while traversing the main road. Be extra careful when traveling along the Lockover Bridge, he stated. Narrow escape. 20-year-old medical student Esther Thomas cried when she arrived in Jamaica 3 days before Russia invaded Ukraine last Wednesday. The tears her mother, Keisha Thomas, reported on Monday sprang in from her realization that she had left her fellow students in the Eastern European country as war loomed, and cold, hard fact that her dream of completing her studies to become a doctor has been shattered. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I didn't want to mess up this opportunity for her, Thomas stated. She had only been in the Ukraine for 3 months. We just spent up a bag of money, sent her over there, get her started, and she is finally in med school. And then this happens. It was such an awful situation. Esther was studying at the VN National University, as it was the only tertiary institution that the family could afford. Despite being accepted by several others in the United States, all of which offered her half scholarships. The offers were disappointing, given that the Immaculate Conception High School graduate had earned 8 Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam units, 6 at Grade 1 and 2 at Grade 2. She also had 8 Grade 1s at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate level in one sitting. The student, who has dreams of becoming a pediatric surgeon, had her application to the University of the West Indies medical program denied. However, her desire to realize her chosen profession was met when the opportunity to study in Ukraine presented itself. Unfortunately, like her Jamaican colleagues, who eventually made it out of the war-torn country on Monday, she is now left wondering how she can rebound. And the pain that is shared by her mother, who, on realizing that the war was imminent, took the heartrending decision to get her daughter home. She really escaped by the skin of her teeth. She could have been there too, Thomas said. So, when I see people on social media with insensitive comments about how people stay because of money, it's not about that. You have to understand people's circumstances. Nobody gets up and sends their children across the world into a violent region just because nobody does that, Thomas said in an exclusive interview. I was very nervous about this war from the beginning. It was at a point where I was talking with her about it for the days for which she would return for the summer. But then, we noticed we started seeing it in the news quite a bit, Thomas explained. The mother said that when news broke that Russia had started edging troops along its border and Ukraine, the discussions were over. Hold on, we can't talk about summer, and it sounds like you may have to come home this week, she told Esther. I wasn't about to take any chances. If it was up to me, I would have carried her home a lot sooner if she wasn't hesitant. I totally understand the hesitancy as she struggled to get her into med school, Thomas reported. Give me the chance to make this decision, Thomas said. She begged her daughter, who responded, Mommy, okay, you decide because I can't decide. The mother, terrified for her daughter's safety, pointedly told her it's time to come at your yard. Thomas said that she called her travel agent and inquired about the earliest flights out of Ukraine. When one was identified, she told the agent, get her on the plane. The day Esther drove out of her hostel, heading to the airport, she called her mother in tears. She was bawling. She was leaving her friends behind. 1 or 2 persons had already left, but most of her friends were behind, Thomas recalled. Mommy, I left. I left the hostel. I left, Esther cried uncontrollably. Thomas said she couldn't hold back the tears either. When the call ended, she questioned whether she had acted prematurely and out of fear. It weighed heavily on her mind that her daughter would resent her. She said another concern was the fact that while Esther's residency documents were being processed, the university was in possession of all the documentation for the students. In order for the students to leave for home, they would need to request the documents from the school, and that too would likely be interrupted as a decision to discontinue processing for residency and indirectly enrollment. The university basically made it clear that any student who chose to leave without being justifiably caused would have dismissed him or herself from the academic program of study. In other words, they were risking everything they had worked for up to this point if they did the responsible thing of heading for safety to their home country, Thomas explained. I was doing the right thing, but it didn't feel right. I felt like I was hurting her. I couldn't take a chance with her life. I know I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. The party was her life, but a part of me was wondering if I moved too fast, she said, noting that family members supported her decision. On Monday of February 14, Thomas sent Esther her itinerary, but because of the 7-hour time difference, Esther only had time to pack and head out. When she left Ukraine, she spent 2 days in Turkey because of the flight cancellations. When things were sorted out, she traveled to Panama, where she also spent 2 days. Subsequently, she landed in Montego Bay on February 28th. The only thing she came home with was her passport, residency documents got left, CXC, Cape certificates, everything. Everything the school had was left. I'm still trying to find God's purpose in all of this. I'm just happy she's home and she's safe, Thomas said. 3 days after arriving back home, they heard about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I knew she was home, I was grateful, I was giving thanks, but I felt like she was still there because I had now come to know so many of her friends who were there. I was devastated. For the days that they were traveling, my daughter was monitoring every move. She went crazy when she couldn't hear from them. When she heard from them, we get a little relief. We prayed in between. It was too much, Thomas said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.